Hey guys, ECRG here. Today we're going to be talking about how to disengage after work. Hey guys, ECRG here. Today we're going to be talking about how to disengage after work. Now, this is a very popular topic, particularly because we live in a world with increasing connectivity. We live in a space where you can get emails from your work on your cell phone if you want. Text messages, bosses are text messaging you, assignments are due, etc., etc. Increasing connectivity. And because of that increasing connectivity, one of the downsides is you feel like you never have time off. You may feel like you're always stressed with work assignments. Work is kind of seeping into your personal life, and you never have time to disengage. So what we're going to talk about today is particularly some tips on how to disengage after work, and particularly what I do to disengage. And this is a very important topic, particularly because longevity in any industry, you want to feel like you have a life outside of work. Now, a lot of people are moving more towards work-life integration, and we've done a video talking about that recently. But you want to feel like you are somebody else outside of your work. Your self-worth isn't all tied up into what you do. And so to get started, what we're going to talk about first is the first thing you need to do in order to disengage after work is, one, know when you're done. So in order to know when your work is done, you've got to become self-aware about what it means to have a successful day. Is it just when the clock strikes, 5, if you're working 9 to 5, when the clock strikes 5, you're done for the day, you're done with work. I'm sure a lot of people may feel like that, but that's not always the case, depending on what your job is. Some people, you may have hours of the day where you're really, really busy, from like 12 to 3 or something, and then it's really slow those last 2 hours. Then maybe you have some nighttime meetings or something like that, and that can happen, especially in clinical research, because clinical research, if you don't know already, is a global industry. You work with people from all over the world, so managing those time difference can be difficult when knowing when you're done. Especially can be difficult if you're trying to disengage when you're done with your work for the day. So number one, you've got to know when you're done, and it may take time to understand that. If you're new to the job, it can be difficult to understand when you're exactly done for the day, or when you can put things on pause and pick them up for the next day or for tomorrow. But you've got to know when you're done, and that's the first step on how to know when you can disengage from work. So the second thing you want to talk about is shut off your computer, your phone, and all connection from work. There's got to be a time in the day when you're not worried about work, when you can shut off your work computer, shut off the email notifications, shut off the phone calls. So I know a lot of companies will give you a second phone. A lot of people have iPhones, depending on what your job is. If you're like a project manager or a CRA or something, obviously, you're going to want to have a second phone. But that's a lot easier for you to just set aside and turn off. And then it's a signal to yourself and everyone else that you're done for the day. You're not going to be checking it anymore. You're not going to be checking your computer to log on and get emails. Now, I know that I'm simplifying this a lot. This is a lot easier said than done, because pretty much if you're a project manager, you're pretty much always working. Or if you're a CRA or something, you don't want anything bad to happen. And that can happen at any time of the day. But you've got to have some time to shut off the email and notifications, or if not, you're going to never disengage. So you've got to be rigid and really stick to your boundaries. So you've got to really set these boundaries up and not cross them if you want to be able to disengage after work. So that's my second tip, is make sure you find some time to shut off the computer, shut off the phone, whatever it is, even just for a little bit, even if it's just for an hour or two. Now, me personally, when I'm done for the day, I don't leave the office unless I'm done for the day. I very rarely bring work home. So whether I leave at 5, 6, 7 p.m., typically don't bring much work home. I like when I'm done for the day, I'm done for the day. So I'd much rather stay in the office and get it done rather than bring it home. So that's just how I do it. Maybe some people like that, maybe some people don't. And then the third thing you want to think about is, what does disengaging mean to you? So does that mean just doing something else, whether that's just sitting on the couch watching Netflix? Or can that mean, going to the gym, getting a workout in? Can that mean, just going for a walk or walking the dog, or, maybe cooking dinner? What does disengaging mean to you? And how are you most likely going to utilize that time in order to rest, rejuvenate, and get ready for the next day's work? So, it's really a process. It's really a learning curve on how you disengage. Every job has its different stresses that come along with it. And, disengaging can be really, really stressful. You may feel like the work is just piling up if you disengage and aren't constantly there to, really get it done, or check things off your list, or reply to emails or something like that. But, it can be really important. And, it's one of those things that builds up over time. So you may be fine, getting the email notifications on your phone. And then all of a sudden one day you're not fine. It's just finally hit that breaking point. So you want to prevent it before it gets to that point. And having, having daily some time where you disengage and get rid of, your emails and everything work related, it can be important to long-term success. And then the fourth and final thing that I want to talk about with regards to disengaging is really, you want to make sure that you use your PTO. And we've talked a lot about PTO on this channel and the importances of it. But, that's a good way to have a long-term disengagement from work. Utilize that PTO. And I'm not going to go in too much detail there because we've talked a lot about PTO on this channel. You can go back and look at some of the other videos on PTO. So yeah, definitely make sure you utilize your PTO. Do not feel bad for shutting off from work. I mean, even though people may think that you should always be on, you should always be responding to emails, if they have any hopes on your long-term success and longevity in the industry and longevity at that company, they're going to want to make sure that you're happy and healthy. And mental health is a really big thing. It's starting to become more and more present of an issue, and people are going to be worried about mental health. And so this kind of goes into there. How's your mental state on a day-to-day basis? Some people are going to need more disengagement from work because, they may hate their job or whatever, or they may just be collecting that paycheck. Or other people, they'd be doing that job whether they were getting paid for it or not. So everyone's going to need different levels of disengagement. So don't think just because you're getting paid a lot of money that you don't need that. So there it is, guys. That's it for today's video. Comment down below what you guys do to disengage from work. Maybe there's some tips that I left out here that other people may find helpful. Put those in the comments down below. And as always, guys, email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com for any inquiries you may have. Want to advertise, want to become a part of the notification squad, want your resume to be read and reviewed to get in a clinical research position, email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com as always. All right, guys, take care.